Hi, I'm Sylvia from Vintage Kitchen Vixen, where I share tips for simple living, creating memorable gatherings, and preparing wholesome and traditional recipes with a vintage twist. Today I am going to talk about how I've been coping during this CV crisis where everybody is cooped up in their homes, myself included. I'm more cooped up than I normally am. Normally I am a homebody, but I haven't seen my mom since January. I can't take my child to the playground, which really sucks because he's a toddler and he loves running around and he loves going down slides. And right before this all blew up, he had just figured out how to go down a slide by himself, which is a major accomplishment, and now he can't go down the slide by himself. And I got him a little playground for the backyard, but it's too small because he's a really big kid for his age, and I think he used it for one day, and now it's not being used at all. So that's not great. Today I'm going to be talking about what I've been doing to cope, what I've been doing to keep myself busy, which is how I normally keep myself busy, but now I've kind of been doubling down on it. And I guess there will be a little bit of waffling if I draw on the term my friend Dawn over at the Dawn's Days channel. Dawn is a blogger who's based out of the Netherlands, and she just talks about her days and her crafting and recipes that she makes, and I just love listening to her, and she does a really good job with her channel. So if you do pop on over there, do tell her that I sent you and that I say hi. It has been tricky. My husband's been working from home for over a month now, and he's been in the basement. I live in a bungalow and I'm missing half of my house right now. So the routine that I had has been disrupted, and I know everybody's routines have been disrupted. And since I am a stay-at-home mom, I really shouldn't be complaining about my routine being upset, but still it's been tricky as it has for everyone. I also really miss my freedom to assemble. Again, I'm usually a homebody, so I haven't been too impacted, but I haven't seen my mom since January. I miss seeing everybody. I miss seeing my friends. I miss seeing my family. I miss seeing the congregation at my church. I guess what gets me the most is seeing everybody's fear, seeing everybody's anxieties come out and they're mounting. People don't know what to do, and they feel helpless. And most of the news that you see is pandering fear. So of course everybody's going to be in this state of being worked up and not knowing what the next day holds. I just feel the pressure that's been building up over the last month or two. I feel it mounting, and it kind of worries me a bit, and it makes me feel a little bit anxious too. And maybe that's where some people's anxiety draws from, but I just can't help but feel like there's something in the air, and just like a pressure chamber, and like we're losing oxygen or something. I think that's where my precepts of simple living become really important, because when you learn to be content with the simple things, it makes living life so much easier and so much more enjoyable. I have 8 things that I'm going to share with you that I am doing to stay sane and to keep motivated. So let's walk through them. Number 1, I've been buying in bulk. I normally buy in bulk anyway. I talk all about that in my frugal kitchen rules and my frugal kitchen pantry videos, and how buying in bulk is not only cheaper, which is still true, but I go to the grocery store maybe once every week or every 2 weeks, which is fine with me because I don't like going to the grocery store anymore, folks. I can't go to the farmer's market because most of them are closed down in my area, and nothing's really in season yet either. So instead of buying fresh vegetables, which I still do, I've been buying a lot of frozen vegetables and keeping those in my freezer. And I've also been buying large boxes of meat from a local farmer who's going around and doing meat deliveries every week. So we get like $100 worth of meat at a time. And it's a pretty good variety too. There's like beef, pork, and chicken. And that lasts us quite a long while. So I don't have to go to this grocery store for that. And I'm also supporting somebody who's local. So I've really doubled down buying in bulk, and I'm still making sure that what I'm getting is quality. Number 2, I have been baking more, which is good and it's also bad. So back in January, before all of this blew up, I made a sourdough starter for my kitchen. It's something I've been wanting to do for a couple of years, and I finally did it. And now, lo and behold, everybody's making sourdough and everybody's baking, because what else are you going to do when you're locked down inside your homes and told not to go outside? You're gonna bake. It's been a little bit troubling because it is getting harder to find my flour that I like getting. And I guess the issue, I read an article the other day, is that the manufacturers aren't running out of flour, they're running out of bags, which is kind of funny, but also not, because I go through a lot of flour. I buy big 50-pound bags at a time, That usually lasts me a while, but I've been baking a lot. I haven't been going to my bakery as frequently as I used to, so I've been baking a lot of bread. And basically going through this book, which is Artisan Sourdough Made Simple by Emily Raffa. She has so many good recipes. She tells you how to make your own sourdough starter, which is what I kind of followed. There's like her focaccia. I mean, look at that. Her focaccia is awesome. This one is it has roasted garlic cloves in here, and it's just really simple and so delicious. And I made that for lunch one day and it was awesome. Number 3 is cleaning, which isn't very exciting, but since a lot of people are staying home and they have time to do all these housework chores, I figured I would touch on it. So back in February or March, I discovered an app called Fly Lady. Actually, let me show you what that looks like. So I am going to show you Fly Lady real quick. So if you are in the App Store, you'll find it under Fly Lady Plus, and it's this purple fairy that you can see on the far left on the bottom row. I'm going to open that up. And it opens up to the home page. So there's just a couple of things here. You don't really need to pay attention to them unless you want to do the daily mission. Where I spend my most time is within the routines tab. So if you see at the very bottom, there are different tabs available. Where it says Good Night, Fly Lady Gold, there are 2 tabs. There's My Routines and Upcoming Zones. So I've been using this app since February, so I pretty much have my routine down pat, but I still like going in here every day just to see what's going on. I'm a list person, so I like checking things off my list. So every morning after all of this is done, I will check it off. And sometimes I forget that, oh yeah, I have to start my laundry. So I'll go back. And to go back to the page we were just at, you just tap on routines, the bottom, highlighted in pink. So there's an afternoon routine, there's an evening routine, and then there's the weekly home blessing hour. So the concept here is that you set a timer for 10 minutes and you focus on each thing for 10 minutes. So you can add to these, you can delete them, you can edit them to suit your own needs. But the concept here is you set a timer for 10 minutes and then you dust. And when the timer goes off, you stop dusting. And it's the same thing with sweeping, with mopping, and vacuuming. I break this up into small chunks every day because it would be a luxury for me to work on anything for an hour without any interruption, at least while my little one is napping, and when he is napping, I am not cleaning. Tapping back on routines, I'm going to focus my attention on upcoming zones. So every week there is a new zone to focus on, and they just kind of like cycle through. And when it is the zone to be focused on, it is highlighted in pink. So this week it is zone 5, the living room / den. So if I open that up, you can see what I've already done. And the new week starts on Monday, so I've already had a good head start on cleaning my living room. So I just put on a timer for 15 minutes, and it's amazing how much you can get done in that time. Again, you can edit any of these to suit your needs, like shampoo carpet. I only have it on there because I do want to shampoo the basement one day when my husband's not down there anymore working from home. But this is just an idea of what this looks like. So this app has really helped me to establish my routine. It helps me remember what I need to focus on, and it helps ensure that nothing slips under the cracks. If you need help getting motivated when it comes to cleaning, I think this app will really help you out. Number 4 is gardening. So I have my little victory garden. I am in zone 6, so I don't really start planting until late May. The last couple of months have really been about prep work. So last month, my husband and we expanded the garden. We dug up a bunch of sod, and then I turned over all of the soil. And right now we are currently digging up rows and paths. Our garden is all mapped now. I know where everything is going to go, so that's going to make everything a lot easier. But right now I'm just putting the rows and beds together. And actually my husband's doing most of that heavy work, but I have seedlings started. So I have tomatoes, I have eggplants started, and tomatillos. I'm really excited about them, and I think next month I'm going to start hardening them and putting them outside and getting them used to the sunlight and to the changing temperatures. So that's going to take 2 or 3 weeks to get them all ready to plant, because come late May, early June, they're going in the ground. Once my garden is finished being dug out, I just need to fertilize. Although it has been really difficult to find the things that I want to fertilize my garden with, because either the farm stores I'm going to, they've never heard of what I need, at least the ones in the area, or they're taking orders and they're not getting back to my emails or phone calls, and that's been really tough too. And hardware stores don't have what I need, or it's really expensive. The fifth thing I've been doing is creating. So thank goodness I have my blog and I have this little YouTube channel. I've been at it for almost a year, so my anniversary is coming up on May 14th of when I started doing this. I have been keeping plenty busy with that. It's been a lot trickier, to be honest, because my husband is having a harder time going out with my son because he doesn't have anywhere to go to. He has to line up outside the grocery store, he has to line up outside the bakery, and when you have a toddler in a stroller and you're walking around for like an hour or two, it gets really hard when you can't really go anywhere, or if you're in a lineup for a really long time, like he gets wriggly and they can't go to the park. And my husband can't drive without me being in the passenger seat because he's still learning. He still has his learner's permit. So it's been really tricky because it's getting really hard for me to do my speaking bits. If you have noticed my videos being a little bit noisier than usual, that's why. Especially on the days where it's been rainy, because my film days are on Saturdays. On Sundays I don't do anything. It's a day of rest for me. So Saturdays are the only days I can really film, and if it's rainy, it just makes everything that much harder. Thank goodness I have a creative outlet where I can channel all of my energy towards, and I think that goes for anybody who creates, whether that's writing, whether that's crocheting, like my friend Elise over at Le Petit Cinq Crochet, or even Dawn at Dawn Stays. She has been doing all kinds of cool projects like painting chairs and revamping furniture and pieces. I think the whole point is, as long as you have a hobby that you can direct your energy and attention to, it's going to help you stay sane. You won't go as stir crazy as you would otherwise. Number 6, I've been making efforts to connect with family and friends. So my mom, she actually had the virus, and I was talking to her every day when she was sick. Like, I've never seen her more sick in my life. So I got into the habit of talking to her every day, which I still do. I'm talking to my dad a lot more as well. And my brothers, not so much, but I'm trying to connect more with friends since I can't see them in person. I'm trying to give them a phone call. At least I have the intention to do that. I haven't been doing very good at that, but I really need to start getting better at that, because while I'm doing okay in this isolation because I am a homebody, I do imagine that a few of my friends are struggling, especially those that aren't as comfortable being alone with themselves and being reflective. I'm not saying my friends are like that, but you never know about the inner secret lives of our friends and family members. There's a lot that we hide about ourselves. I mean, I'm a pretty deep well, and I know a lot of people go pretty deep. So even if it's not for our own health, us checking in on our friends and family, we might be helping them, which in turn helps us. Number 7, I have been walking. So thank goodness I haven't been completely locked down over here. I am going out and I am walking every day. I put my little toddler in his stroller, or I put him in his wagon. I'm so grateful that the weather is starting to get warmer and sunnier and just a lot more pleasant. I'm still wearing my winter coat because I am in Quebec. So the weather has been a little bit cooler here, but it is so important for us to get fresh air, for us to get exercise, for us to get that sunlight. Being inside is detrimental to our health, so we need to get out. Getting that natural sunlight, getting that fresh air, it boosts our immune system, it makes us healthier, it makes us stronger. So get out and get that sunlight, get that vitamin D, get that fresh air, and it just, walking helps me to clear my head. Like, I do a lot of praying when I'm walking, and I guess that kind of funnels down to my last one, which is praying and reflecting. So when I'm walking, I'm usually having a conversation with God and just talking about my life and what I need, what I want, what I'm looking for, and most importantly, expressing gratitude for everything that I have and for everything I've been given. There's also been a lot of Bible study. There's been just a lot of exploring of my faith and asking questions and trying to find answers. So it's been a really great time for that. I think feeding our souls is so important. So however you do that, try to feed your soul. Now those are the things that I am doing, but there's also my list of things that I wish I could do more of. And the reasons I don't do them is because I am a mother to a young child. So I have 4 things on this list. So maybe these are things that you can double down on, or maybe there are things that you are already doing. So it's mostly to give you ideas and for me to think longingly of them. So number 1, I wish I could read more. I'm reading as much as I possibly can, but I haven't even finished a single book this year, and that's pretty major for me because before my little boy was mobile and getting into everything, I still got a fair bit of reading done, and that has kind of gone out of the window. If I open up a book while he's playing and he looks up and he sees me enjoying something other than him, he will come up and he will try to grab the book out of my hands, and that's the end of my little period of solitude. I have so many books that I want to read, so many books that I have on my bookshelf that I haven't read yet. If I could, I would lie on the couch and read all day, in addition to doing some of the other things. But I used to do that before, and I knew at the time that it was a luxury, and I enjoyed every minute of it, but now I just don't get to read as much as I used to, and it kind of sucks. I can't just blame it all on my toddler. Like creating, like running this blog and editing videos and working on that every single day, because I do that when he's napping and I do it in the evening, and then I'm also juggling with the garden as well. I really don't have that much time to read, and I was trying to explain that to my mother earlier this week because she's trying to get me to read something that she's currently reading for the second time, and I'm like, Mom, like I don't have time to read what I want to read right now. I'm not going to reread something I read 2 or 3 years ago. And she's like, yes, but when you read it for the second time, you're going to see things you didn't get the first time. And I'm like, yes, I get that, but I don't have time. She's like, make the time. And I'm like, I'm making time for everything else. I'm always telling her to make time for things, and for me, like something would need to get sacrificed. Like I already don't watch television except for like maybe one episode of Little House on the Prairie, which I've been working through. I just got to season 5 and I'm waiting for it to get to me, but I have the garden that I'm working on. There's all my baking, there's all my cooking, there's all my content creating. So something would need to get sacrificed for me to read more. That's the life of a content creator, I suppose, and a mother. Number 2, I would exercise more. So before I entered parenthood, I used to do this program called PIT. PIT, P-I-I-T, is the love child of Pop Pilates meets high intense interval training, and it is intense. I used to do this program for like a year, and it kicked my butt, and while it kicked my butt, it made me so strong and toned and lean, and it was awesome. And those workouts were brutal. You had 4 sets, because that's what high interval training is. You had 4 sets of 7 different exercises that you would do for 45 seconds each, and you would go hard for each of these sets. You'd take a 20-second breather, and then you were back at it. So by the time it was over, spent less than 30 minutes doing all of these exercises, and then of course like warming up beforehand and then stretching after. But it was brutal, and it was beautiful. Like it was so good. And she's such a cheery instructor too, so I highly recommend it, and I'll link that below in case you want to check that out. But I highly recommend Cassie Ho's workouts. She has a YouTube channel. All of her exercises are free, but her PIT program, it is a paid program. If you want to take your workout to the next level at home, and you don't really need anything, if you want to be able to do that, her program is excellent. I mean, even doing something as simple as yoga would be really good right now, or Tai Chi, or anything that you can do at home to get your body moving. I try to do little spurts here and there. Like I have a rebounder in my basement, I have a jump rope outside, so I try to get a little bit of exercise in here and there, but I can only do like a couple minutes at a time, and then my toddler is like, oh, you're doing something without me, that looks interesting, let me try, or let me interrupt what you're doing. So that's really hard too. So exercise gets sacrificed for content creation. Number 3, I would sew. I promised myself I would learn how to sew this year, and so far I know 1 stitch, and my mom said it was a sloppy stitch and that she was going to teach me a much neater stitch, and that hasn't happened. She also said she was going to teach me how to sew on the button, and that hasn't happened. Again, I haven't seen her since January, so when am I supposed to learn these things? And then when I see her, we're also making up for lost time, and it's just all very sad. So I still haven't made any progress on my sewing. I really want to make myself some cloth napkins. So I had some that I started like a couple years ago when I took a class. So I was learning how to make basic napkins, and I never finished them. And I have a sewing machine that my mom loaned to me. It's in my basement. I haven't touched it because, again, I need to decide what I'm going to put all of my time towards, and I can't put it everywhere, otherwise it would be too divided and I'd be too thinly spread. I need to decide where I'm putting my focus on and focus there. But if you like sewing, that's definitely one of those creating areas that you can focus your energy to, or even if you want to learn how to sew, this is a great time to learn how to sew. Also, if I did try sewing around my toddler, I am afraid that he would try grabbing the needle, or I would end up poking him or something, and that wouldn't be good. Number 4, and this is the last one, I would paint. So these walls, you probably can't see what color they are, but they are a pale pink. Actually, most of my walls are pale pink. My bedroom wall is purple and my closet is bubblegum pink. I did not pick out these colors, and I really want these walls to get repainted. I don't know what color I would paint them, but it's not just walls, like it's things like furniture. I have an antique desk that I picked up last year at a garage sale for 20 bucks that I really want to restore. I bought myself a desk for my computer at a yard sale for $3 that I really want to paint. My nightstand is unfinished. It's just plain pine. It's not stained or anything. That needs to get done. My laundry cupboards and my basement cupboards, and also my closets, they're really drab. Actually, my whole basement, the walls are in wood paneling that was done in the 70s, so they're dreadful and depressing. And I really want to brighten things up and just add splashes of color everywhere and not have pink walls. If I could, I would spend more time on these projects, but I really just don't have the time to do them. I would also be brand new to it because I've never painted a wall before. I've never tried updating a piece of furniture. So it would be a learning curve too. And at the same time, I don't even know what I like when it comes to decorating. I am very minimal. Actually, I'm not that minimal, but I don't have a decorating style, and I need to learn that about myself. There's so much work to be done in my home. I want to do it. I want to put my stamp on this house. I want to make it pop out. I want people to say, wow, when they walk into my home. I just don't know how to do that, and I don't have the time to do that. Or at least I don't make the time because I put it other places. And sorry, I'm waffling. I'll stop. Anyhow, I am very curious to hear what you have been keeping busy with. Are you doing any of these things that I have listed? Are there things that you're doing more of? Things that you're doing less of? What do you wish you were doing? What are you most looking forward to doing when all of this is over? And it will be over. Are you reading any good books? Are you crafting anything? Are you gardening? I want to hear how things are going on your end, what you're doing, and mostly, I just want to thank you for stopping by the kitchen. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you for watching this whole thing, and I'm sorry I waffled so much. Again, thank you, Dawn, for that term. I love your term, waffling. It's great. It's great. I hope I give you some ideas on what you can do with your time that'll keep you productive and that'll give you some enjoyment, even if it's just something small like the cleaning app. I think I'm going to wrap up here because I've been talking long enough. But thank you for watching. But if you are new here and this is your first time in the kitchen, I really hope you will become a subscriber by hitting that subscribe button and the bell notification so that you never miss an episode of the kitchen. And I hope you all like this video by hitting the thumbs up. I hope you drop a comment. I do put out 2 new videos a week, although I think I might be taking a break soon. So bye for now. Ta-ta.
Is that too long?
That's fire. I am in zone 5 or 6. I always forget I am zone